In this video, I'm gonna walk you through my clinic notebook Notion template. I've been developing my clinic notebook throughout medical school, and now that I've earned my doctorate degree in Naturopathic Medicine, I'm excited to share the final version of my clinic notebook template with you. This is the homepage of my clinic notebook. You can write a quote that makes your heart happy here to inspire you. Note that all information in the video today is for demonstration purpose only and should not be considered as medical advice. Scrolling down, you can see body systems on the left and modalities on the right. Let's take a look at cardiovascular system, for example. So this is the homepage of cardiovascular system. You can see on the left side, we have menu. First thing under menu is cardiovascular conditions. This is where I keep all my cardiovascular diseases. And I put down 2 examples for you. You can view all the information in table view, list view, or gallery view. So when we go back to table, take MI for example, you can write down the pathology, characteristics, etiology, signs and symptoms, physical exam and diagnosis. You can also put in treatments. Each disease, each rows can be opened up as a page, and what you put in here will appear here vertically. Page for each disease are also linked to 3 databases: lab and imaging, supplements, and patient instruction database. We'll go over that in a minute. The display function will display your favorite disease in your cardiovascular homepage. If you want to add a new condition, you can click New. This will auto-populate cardiovascular conditions template. And you can change the title to whichever disease, for example, congestive heart failure. Using the tags can help you find the disease in the future more easily. This is from my personal clinic notebook. After you add in all the conditions, it can look like this. And you can fill in the information. Let's go back to the cardiovascular homepage. On the homepage, you can see under the featured conditions, we have cardiomyopathy and myocardial infarction. The way to have the condition show up here as featured conditions is the display function. So for example, instead of MI, we want to showcase CHF. We can go to MI, add display, change it to this dark moon, go to CHF, under for more properties, display, and select the full moon. And when you go back to cardiovascular system homepage, we change MI to CHF. So that's cardiovascular conditions database. And now we look under menu. There are some toggles and you can expand them as needed. Each of these are their own database under modalities. Under modalities, you can find them here. You can access physical exam database by clicking it, or you can go back to the home page. And you can also find it under modalities over here. You can see physical exams are also organized by body systems. If we go to cardiovascular system, I put ABI for example. This will show up on our cardiovascular body system homepage. Let me show you. Over here, you can click on it. So if we go back to physical exam database, if you want to add a physical exam, decide which body system it belongs to so it can show up in the correct body system homepage. For example, if you want to add blood pressure, we can go to constitutional and click new. You can also click here and we can change the name to blood pressure. The database will automatically populate the corresponding emoji because this particular view in the physical exam database is linked to the constitutional PE template. And of course, you can go in and edit all these templates tailored to your needs. You can change this emoji. So now if we go to constitutional, under body system, we can see under physical exams what we just put in, blood pressure. Let's go to Labs and Imaging Database. I put in EKG as an example. Under List, you can see all the labs and imagings you put in. If you go to Cardiovascular View, it will filter out the labs and imagings that you tag cardiovascular system under body systems here. You can link this physical exam to a specific disease or condition that you put in. So remember, we have MI in our cardiovascular conditions database, so you can link it to the labs and imaging down here, EKG. So you can link them together, and you can add more like congestive heart failure, cardiomyopathy if you want to. So back to Cardiovascular System homepage, we also have the Botanical Medicine Database linked here. You can find Botanical Medicine Database under Modalities, Botanical Medicine, and under Menu, Botanical Medicine Database. Here's where you put in all the herbs you learn. You can use the list view, gallery view if you add in pictures, by family, and plant ID. Take hypericum for example. By categorizing this herb, you can have it show up in the different homepage of different body systems. So now hypericum will show up in neurological system. If we go to neurologic system, under botanicals, we can see hypericum here. Let's go back to Botanical Medicine Database. The way you add a new herb is by clicking New. You can categorize it by body system and its major functions. Type in its common name, family, part used, constituents, chemistry actions, dosage, indications, safety, and plant ID. Back to Cardiovascular System homepage. Under Menu, we have Pharmaceuticals. Again, you can access that under Modalities, in Pharmacology, and Pharmaceutical Database. If you want to add a new drug, click New. It will auto-populate the drug template. Here you can put down the name of the drug and the major use. This will allow this drug to show up in the cardiovascular homepage under Pharmaceuticals. You can put down the receptor it binds to and is an antagonist. Now if we go back to the cardiovascular homepage, we can see under Pharmaceuticals, we have atorvastatin that we just add in. It's the same thing with the supplements. We have the supplements database. You can access it under Modalities. Take this pediatric melatonin supplement for example. You can put in the name of the supplement, the brand, the body systems, indications, who recommends this supplement, and the dosage. You can also view the supplements as table lists under each systems. You can also link this supplement to a condition. When you go to that condition, under supplements here, it will show up. For example, insomnia. So back to Cardiovascular System homepage. On the right side, under Resources, you can save some useful links down here. You can upload your class slides by clicking Upload PDF. If you scroll down, here's a section for research articles. Here you can find all your cardiovascular research articles that you save under the research database. You can find the research database under Research down here, Research Article Database. The research articles you saved here will show up corresponding to the body system and modalities you categorize them to. For example, you want to save a research article that talks about how a specific herb lowers blood lipids. You can put it under cardiovascular system and botanical medicine. And you can save the PMID, and you can upload the PDF of the research down here. If we go back to the cardiovascular system homepage, you can see it shows up here. It tells you that it's related to botanical medicine. Now if we go to botanical medicine, under research, we can see the same paper, and it tells you it's related to the cardiovascular system. Now that we're done talking about the body system homepage, this will be the same for each body system. Now let's take a look at botanical medicine. Here is the homepage for botanical medicine. We went over the Botanical Medicine Database. I recommend adding pictures for each herb. It will be really pretty on their gallery when you add in pictures. This is from my personal clinic notebook. For example, you can see when you put in pictures versus when you don't. Back to Botanical Medicine homepage. On the left, we have my favorite herb, Tulsi. It's also called holy basil. You can of course change it to your favorite herb. Down here, we have this page for you to write some prescription shorthands. Then we have the herbal action glossary. Here you can add in your herbal actions. And here we have a database for your herbal formulas. Here we have an example, vaginitis bye-bye cream, and you can put in its indication, which body system it's working on, who formulated it, its recipe, route, sig, types, and a more specific table so you can recreate it. So under tea, I put in some pretty pictures for you so you can decide if you want to use it or you can delete them. Let's say we want a sleepy tea. Okay, and then you can write down the recipe, your sig, and it auto-populates this table for you. You can also click new and do the same thing. It will auto-populate this teapot emoji and set it to tea formula. But for example, if you want to formulate a tincture, you go to tincture, click new, and you can change the name. In this tincture view, it auto-populates the tincture emoji and set the types to tincture formula for you. Same thing with topicals. Last thing on the menu is a page for you to take notes on wild crafting. On the right, we have resources, and I put in this database for you to record herbalist contacts. And again, here you can save some useful links and your class slides. Down here, we have the research sections as we talked about. Now let's go through the diet and nutrition therapy homepage. So again, you can change this picture to whatever you want. And under menu, we have the D&T database. Here you can save all your micro and macronutrients. Write down its indication and the dosage. Same thing with environmental medicine. We have some art, our database, our resources, and research. You can add in some cute GIF and pictures to make it more enjoyable. When you click new, it auto-populates the environmental medicine template, and you can edit the template anytime. For example, changing this emoji. You can also edit the template over here next to new. Let's take a look at homeopathy. Same thing here, we have our menu, which has our homeopathic remedy database. You can put in the body system, name of the remedy, the general information, conditions it applies to, the physical and emotional keynotes, and what makes it better and worse. I put in Nox Vomica as an example. Under display, I set it to the full moon. So when we go to the homepage for homeopathy, it shows up here. Here we have some useful links, class slides, repertory, and research. Let's take a look at physical medicine. We have menu, resources, and research. For the physical medicine database, you can put in all the physical medicine modalities you learned and all your notes. Adding some GIF to make it more exciting. By adding tags, you can filter out the more specific modalities within physical medicine. Down here we have my favorite modality, which is poetry. We have a poem by Hafiz. Under menu, I put down poetry calendar, and it can show up as a table or a calendar. If you write a poem, you can save it here, or if you found one that you would love to save, you can add in the title here, add some tags so you can easily find it later, record the author. If you write this poem yourself, change this tag to your name. By clicking on this tag, it will show up in my poems. And of course, don't forget rest as one of the most important foundations of health. I learned these beautiful quotes by James Jellis from Dr. Greg Yasuda. And scrolling down here, we have Naturopathic Patient Plan. I put down Determinants of Health as a reference. And we have the Naturopathic Therapeutic Order. Then we have this Patient Instructions Database. Here's where you can save your treatment plans and after visit summaries. And don't forget to remove all HPIs. For example, the patient instructions for blood labs, you can put down the body system so that it showed up in the corresponding tab. You can put down the dot phrase or smart phrase for your EHR. You can link this patient instruction to the corresponding health condition so that it shows up in that page. Down here. Now let's take a look at Visit Preps/Contacts Database. Again, remember no HPI should be recorded here. So the first column, you can put down the patient's initial. Patients can have the same initial, so you can put down number 1. For example, this is the first HG you saw, and this is their second visit. And you can see down here, I linked this to the first page over here, so you can see their past chart. So you can put down the type of shift, the supervisor, and which condition, if you've seen the patient, who's the primary student. So again, change this to your name. Assisting student. If you're a doctor, you can delete these 2 columns. If you're a medical student, these are helpful. Have you submit the chart? My school uses CATS, which is a system to log our patient contacts. You can change this to a different name, for example, eValue, if you use that to record your patient contacts. You can use this page to prep and save your SOAP note without HPI. Here's the naturopathic principles, and here's a link to the Determinants of Health page. You can prep your patient here. Write down your DDX, anything you need to remember to ask the patient, any clinical questions. Here's a little tool to help you see where are we on the therapeutic order today. After you've seen the patient, you can save your SOAP note here and your ABS. Here's a little instruction on how to save it and link your ABS down here. Save your ABS in patient instruction database we just talked about. So HG presents with anxiety, and perhaps we are telling them. You can make a anxiety treatment plan, and you can save it down here. Now back to HG, link your ABS after adding it to the patient instruction database. Type / and link to page. So type / link to page. Anxiety treatment plan, which is what we just saved in the patient instruction database. Then you can delete these. So let's say we are prepping for our counseling patient HP 1-1. We can go to prep. It will show up here because we haven't clicked seen. This tab filters out all the patient contacts that you haven't seen and you are the primary. So it doesn't show you the no-show and the dropped patients. So after you've seen this patient, you can click seen. It will go to charting. Now you have to complete the chart. You can say you are in progress. After you work on the chart, after you're done, it will go to cats. This reminds you that you need to log these patient contacts in your system. After you've logged it, it will disappear. But you can always go to table, which shows you everything. Now if we take a look at our clinic here, I want to go over clinic shift notes with you. So you can record your clinic shift here. For example, you have a shift with Dr. Flower on Monday morning, and you can put in which quarter. You can put in the dates from April to June. You can put in your dot color on that shift. This is specific for Epic, and you can put in the type of shift. In this page, you can put down the doctor's specific expectations and your SMART goals on this shift. Over here, you can put down some Epic tips. If you use a different EHR, you can also change it to whichever you're using, for example, Charm. As an example, I added how to print medication list in Epic. You can add in your tips here. Here's a Preceptorship Database for you to save your preceptorship contacts, their address, their phone number, when were you there, etc. Down here we have a database for you to save all your specialist referral list, which will come in handy. And here we have your support contacts. Over here under personal, we have healthcare media database. In this database, you can save your book list, your podcasts, your videos, your articles, your app, your bucket list, and some pediatric resources. And then we have the quotes database. Here you can save some healthcare related quotes. And we have a section here for quick notes. If you're at the clinic or you are in a rush but you want to save some clinical pearls from someone, or you have an idea, you want to quickly type down some dosage, some tips, you can add it here so you don't have to figure out where exactly you want to save it yet. You can add more sticky notes by clicking quick note. And when you have time, you can organize it into where it's supposed to be. So here we have research, and we've talked about this research article database already. Here's evidence-informed practice, and you can save your notes here regarding this. And you can save your critical evaluation of medical literature notes and class slides in this page. Okay, this is the end. I've walked through my clinic notebook with you. I hope you find this helpful and inspiring and motivated to organize your clinic notebook and make it pretty. If you want to purchase this template, the link is down in the description. Feel free to change the emojis and pictures in this template. I hope you have fun. Thanks for watching this video. Bye!